Heat checker.
Cunningham.
Get her the ball. Get her the ball. One more time. Cross. A logo again.
Oh, no.
She's back.
Oh my God!
Dynamic
This isn't real.
player in the game.
What?
9 points in 38 seconds for Caitlin. She hit all 3 threes. And not only 9 and 30, but look at the depth on these field goal attempts. She's certainly feeling it. Right side. Right side. Now come back to your favorite spot again. It doesn't matter if there's a hand.
What am I watching?
The reigning champs were untouchable. No one had solved the puzzle. The New York Liberty were steamrolling every opponent in their path, looking like a team on a mission to repeat history. But then, June 14th happened. Caitlin Clark made her return from injury. And what unfolded wasn't just a win for the Indiana Fever. It was an absolute destruction of everything the Liberty stood for. 8 records shattered in a single night. Their undefeated streak, gone. Their swagger, crushed. But here's the real shocker. It wasn't just about Caitlin's brilliance. The Fever unveiled a game plan that could reshape the WNBA playoff race. This wasn't just a statement. It was a warning shot. If you're fired up about Caitlin Clark's record-breaking comeback, type CC record breaker in the comments. And let's light it up. This one's for the history books. Let's go.
Caitlin pulls left wing, the right wing, 30+ feet. Logo crosses over, launch it. Oh my goodness! She is back.
Back in the lineup, I'm ready to go.
I think you're just excited more than anything. You know, it gets kind of difficult when you prepare for a game. Obviously, when I'm on the bench, still knowing the scout, knowing everything that the other team's going to do, and still trying to mentally prepare and go through everything like I'm going to play, even though I knew I wasn't going to play. So, you know, doing that, but also knowing I was going to be able to be active today, I think gives you a little extra juice. So I'm certainly excited just to get back out there, get playing, and really good opportunity for us at home here, coming off of a loss. So it's a big game.
Imagine this, the defending champs tearing through the league like they're facing JV squads. The New York Liberty stormed into June, boasting a flawless 9-0 record, the last unbeaten team standing in the entire WNBA, and they weren't just collecting wins, they were sending a message with each one. Game after game, they crushed their opponents, making it look effortless. Their defense, absolutely terrifying. It wasn't just good, it was suffocating. Teams would show up believing they had a shot, and 2 hours later, they'd walk off the court dazed, defeated, and searching for answers. The Liberty's defense felt like an unbreakable wall, and with each victory, that wall only got higher.
Played the Liberty. There was obviously a frustrating ending. What lessons can you take from that experience, and how can that be applied to this, even though I know obviously Liberty look a little different with 2 starters out?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly you take time and score situations, you know, different versions of handling runs, offensively, defensively. Margin for error is small against a team like New York, and you know, every play matters. You know, every time we send them to the free throw line matters. Every rebound matters. You know, we can't afford to have empty possessions on the offensive end of the floor. You know, you've got to play your A game.
Every team that lined up against them started with belief and left crushed. Coaches spent hours crafting the perfect game plan. Players burned through film, searching for weaknesses, but it didn't matter. Nothing worked. The Liberty had counters for everything. Their offense was razor sharp, slicing through defenses with pinpoint pick and roll execution. Their defense, just as vicious, aggressive, disciplined, and suffocating. And their confidence, sky high. Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, and Brianna Stewart weren't just playing well. They were on another level. These weren't solid performances. They were taking over games and making fellow All-Stars look average. Stewart was a walking bucket, scoring from anywhere and everywhere. Ionescu hit wild shots, dished out impossible assists, and ran the floor like a magician. And Jones, she patrolled the paint like a fortress, making even elite centers look like amateurs.
I think we continue to learn lessons from the first time we played them and from our last game against Atlanta. You know, every single day that we move forward. You know, I think they're a different team. Certainly, we're going to be a different team having C and Sophie back on the floor. And you know, we're going to tip the ball up and go out, and we're going to give it everything that we have.
The stats said it all. The Liberty weren't just winning, they were dominating. Game after game, they turned tough matchups into one-sided beatdowns. Their average margin of victory, terrifying. Teams that entered with top-tier rankings left the court dazed, sometimes losing by 20 or more. Even elite WNBA talent looked out of sync, like they were playing a different level of basketball entirely when facing New York. Analysts across the league started asking the same question. Not who could beat the Liberty, but if anyone even could. Sports talk shows were already speculating how long this unstoppable run could last. Writers weren't planning for an upset, they were preparing legacy stories.
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the WNBA. The defending champion and unbeaten New York Liberty coming to town for the second time this year as we get ready for this game. And yes, she is back. Caitlin Clark will indeed be playing today. Missed the last 5 games with a strained quad, taking on the Liberty off to their best start ever. Sabrina Ionescu and company in this big Commissioner's Cup game as well. And as usual, all the seats are filled here.
Then came Indiana's shot. But they needed a miracle. The Fever had been battling injuries, shuffling lineups, and struggling to find their rhythm. Nobody was calling them title contenders just yet. Almost everyone was bracing for another New York beatdown, but the Liberty weren't ready for what happened next. Caitlin Clark made her return, and everything changed.
Yeah, we have an opportunity in front of us right now. I feel like this is like we're starting a new season. You guys, I'm so proud of how resilient we've been up until this point. We're going to continue to have to be. But right now, we have an opportunity to continue to take a step forward. Okay, this can be a springboard for us, right? We're marrying energy and effort with execution. Every single possession matters. Hit singles. Hit singles. Make the easy play. All right? Make one another better. Okay? It's our time. It's our time. Let's go. Here we go. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3. Together.
Now let's talk about the moment everything shifted. 38 seconds that flipped the script on the entire WNBA. As Caitlin Clark stepped back onto the court at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, you could feel the energy shift instantly. She wasn't just returning from a quad injury. She was on a mission to send a message the whole league would hear loud and clear.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from 2 players with incredible up. Ball from Cunningham. Clark, another long 3. She's back.
The Liberty defense thought they had Caitlin Clark figured out. They'd broken down her game film, analyzed her shooting habits, and braced themselves for her to come out aggressive. They knew she had range, but they had no idea just how deep she was willing to go. Then Clark did the unthinkable. 3 straight 3-pointers from distances that left defenders frozen. The first bomb, 34 feet. A shot most wouldn't dare take, but Clark rose up like she was at the charity stripe and splashed it. The next one came from 31 feet, same deadly result. Then another from nearly the same spot, and by then, New York's defense could do nothing but stare. She wasn't just shooting, she was putting on a show they weren't ready for.
Down, Fever, Cunningham got knocked to the floor. Caitlin pulls left wing, buries it. She is back. 24-18, Fever down. Caitlin down from the right wing, 30-plus feet. Good again. No one else but Caitlin Clark. Sedantis, handoff. Caitlin from the logo, crosses over, launches. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding?
The most dynamic player in the game. 9 points in 38 seconds for Caitlin. She hit all 3 threes. And not only 9 in 30, but look at the depth on these field goal attempts. She's certainly feeling it.
The crowd inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse completely erupted as each shot splashed through the net. Fans leapt to their feet. The volume was deafening. With every bucket Caitlin Clark dropped, the energy in the arena exploded. You could literally feel the building rumble. 9 points in just 38 seconds. That's not just quick scoring. scoring. Now that's redefining what's possible in professional hoops. Let that sink in. Most players are thrilled to get 9 points across a full quarter. Clark did it in under a minute, and in doing so, she made history, becoming the first player in WNBA history to ever pull off this exact stretch.
And Cunningham is
Caitlin
down
from the
behind
logo.
play.
Oh my God!
But they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from three. Cunningham just now getting up as she stayed down near the free throw line on the other end.
Oh! Okay, why did
Oh my
he take that?
gosh!
An ankle
Oh
injury
my
and then
god, and
Johannes
of
Berry.
course Marine Johannes
Two
countered
players
not by the
Please.
logo. But this is why I
Caitlin
love
from
the
the logo
NBA.
again! We got a shootout! We got a shootout!
Oh my
Again!
god! No, no, no!
Even Breanna Stewart couldn't hide her grin, because what she was witnessing was nothing short of basketball brilliance. Stewart, one of the game's all-time greats, has seen just about everything on the court, but even she had to admire the show Caitlin Clark was putting on. This wasn't just good basketball. This was the game played at its absolute peak. The Liberty called for a timeout, but the damage was already done. Caitlin Clark had cracked their confidence wide open. You could see it in their faces and body language. That undefeated swagger was starting to fade. They showed up expecting to cruise past Indiana like they had every other team. Instead, they were witnessing a full-blown takeover. Clark wasn't just back, she was rewriting the script. This wasn't some lucky run or random heat check. It was a superstar announcing her return with authority. New York had jumped out to an 11-point lead early in the first quarter, but in just 38 seconds, Clark erased it, tying the game at 24 and flipping the momentum completely. And it didn't stop there. By halftime, Clark had already poured in 25 points, the most she's ever scored in a single half. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. Her 5-game absence was officially behind her, and she made sure the entire league felt it.
To get it inside to Mitchell. Those two have such a great connection.
Rebound, battled for, Clark comes away with it. Caitlin, outlet to Aaliyah, in stride, right post, and she banks it in. It's a dime from CC to AB. And that does it for a scintillating first 20 minutes at Cambridge Fieldhouse. It's the Fever 53 and the Liberty 50.
But Clark was just getting warmed up, and with every quarter, she kept smashing new milestones. She buried 7 threes by the end of the night, a personal best that had Liberty defenders in total panic mode. Every time they thought they'd solved her, she stepped back from a deeper range and nailed another bomb. It didn't matter how many timeouts New York called, nothing could slow her down. She was in a rhythm that no defense could touch, and the Liberty had no answers.
I don't know if you guys have seen or heard, but Caitlin Clark is in fact back. Caitlin Clark!
Then steps back with the three over Breanna Stewart.
Then came the milestone that officially put her ahead of WNBA legend Candace Parker. Caitlin Clark racked up 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, marking her 3rd career game with at least 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. For perspective, Candace Parker, a 2-time MVP and 7-time All-Star, had only 2 games like that in her first 2 seasons. Clark just passed one of the greatest to ever play the game. She also became the 4th fastest player in WNBA history to hit 850 career points, doing it in just 45 games. Only Cynthia Cooper-Dyke, 38 games, and Simone Augustus, 39 games, reached that milestone quicker. That's the level Clark is at now, firmly among the elite scorers in the history of the league. Clark's stat line was something the WNBA has never seen before. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and 7 3-pointers, all in one game. No one in league history has ever hit that exact combination. Not Sue Bird, not Diana Taurasi, not even Maya Moore. Caitlin Clark became the first player ever to post those numbers in a single outing. She also climbed to second all-time in games where a player scored or assisted on 50-plus points, with 9 such performances in just 45 games. For comparison, Diana Taurasi holds the top spot with 10, but it took her 565 games to get there. Clark is closing in on that record at lightning speed, and at this rate, she could shatter it before the season's even over.
The New York Liberty came out and threw the first punch in this quarter. For the Liberty to make this a single-digit game has been impressive here.
I think the way we responded when they went on that run in the third quarter, like we had to figure out how to play through it and go on a run of our own. And in the past, like that's kind of where we would crumble. That's exactly where we crumbled. But today we really stuck together. We went on our own run.
Mitchell trying to blow by. Everybody does and gets the foul.
Bounce pass, right wing hole, wide open three. Of course! Clark to hole, open lane, and she scores off the glass.
Caitlin challenged Sabally and won it.
Caitlin Clark has officially claimed the record for the most games with at least 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists within a player's first 2 seasons, surpassing none other than Candace Parker. But this wasn't just an epic game against the reigning champs. This was Clark solidifying her place among the WNBA's elite at record-breaking speed. She's not just competing with the greats, she's rewriting what's possible for a young player in this league. And here's what made it even more special. It wasn't just the Caitlin Clark takeover. While she was making history, her teammates stepped up and delivered the kind of performances that could define their careers. The big question was whether the Fever's supporting cast could rise to the moment alongside Clark. And the answer, absolutely, in every way that mattered.
Clark nails it. A 17-0 run. Caitlin Clark now with 7 threes on the afternoon.
I thought Sid was fantastic today. She makes 2 huge threes for us in the second half. Soph was fantastic.
Final score, Fever 102, Liberty 88. And Caitlin Clark's return. Indiana fans, elated and amazed. The Fever are the first team to defeat the Liberty in 2025.
Lexi Hull delivered the game of her life, setting career highs in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and shooting efficiency. She's been flying under the radar, but make no mistake, this is the best season of her career. Hull currently leads the entire WNBA in 3-point shooting percentage and is setting new personal records across the board. Her deadly accuracy from deep stretches the defense, creating room for Caitlin Clark to operate and opening up the floor for the entire Fever offense. And when Hull starts hitting from long range, Indiana becomes almost unguardable. Aaliyah Boston is rewriting what it means to be a center in the WNBA. She's the only one at her position averaging 4.1 assists per game, a stat that proves she's not just dominating in the paint, but orchestrating plays like a seasoned point guard. Boston doesn't just wait for scoring opportunities, she creates them. Her court vision allows her to anticipate the action before it unfolds, threading passes and setting up her teammates in ways few bigs ever have. Her unique ability to facilitate from the post gives the Indiana Fever an offensive edge that no other team in the league can replicate.
Found Boston perfectly. Boston being very physical with Sabally. Count it. Fake left, drive right, make it all look so easy. Blocked by Boston.
Keep it down.
Kelsey Mitchell poured in 22 points, delivering clutch baskets right when the Fever needed them most. Every time the Liberty started to chip away at the lead, Mitchell stepped up, draining a deep 3 or slicing through the defense for a layup. Her late-game heroics in the fourth quarter shut down any hopes of a New York comeback. With Mitchell knocking down big shots, the pressure wasn't all on Caitlin Clark. Instead, the Fever proved they've got more than one offensive star ready to take over.
It is shocking to see Kennedy Burke miss 1 3 this season. She's leading the league at over 60%, but to see her miss a couple.
Count it. As Mitchell celebrates from the floor.
Mitchell is simply such a great cutter, and this time going again from the right side to the middle of the floor. Colson head up, finds her, drops the pass. What a tough finish as well.
Sydney Colson stepped up off the bench and delivered exactly what the Fever needed, 10 points and 6 assists in key stretches of the game. She entered during high-pressure moments and played with total composure, never missing a beat. Her calm leadership and smart decision-making helped maintain the team's rhythm when the starters caught a breather. Colson's impact was another reminder of just how deep and reliable Indiana's bench truly is.
Colson playing point with Caitlin now on the bench. Backdoor feed. Mitchell, score it, and one!
The ball zipped around with purpose, the defense tightened like a vice, and every player executed their role to perfection. Indiana dictated the tempo from the opening tip, forcing the Liberty to adjust to their rhythm. They neutralized New York's usually deadly pick and roll with smart, calculated rotations, and shut down the mismatches the Liberty loved to exploit. It was the textbook definition of championship-level basketball. Stars leading the way, while the supporting cast stepped up in big moments. Head coach Stephanie White highlighted her team's unity, saying, "This group sticks together. They lift each other up and feed off one another's energy." That selfless, team-first approach was the driving force behind the win. When the Fever are locked in like this, when chemistry clicks and everyone's locked into the game plan, they don't just look competitive, they look like serious title threats.
Good job.
No, we get.
Whew, good job. Squad needed it. Played Fever way. I love it. More of them.
This wasn't just another victory. This was the Indiana Fever sending a loud message to the entire WNBA. They've cracked the code to winning big. With Caitlin Clark shattering 8 records and her teammates posting career best performances, something truly electric was happening on that court. The Liberty's undefeated run officially over. But even more importantly, the Fever just proved that when they play their style of basketball, they can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the league. With Clark making history and her squad rising to the occasion, the 2025 season just got a whole lot more exciting. The Fever now sit at 5-5 and have climbed to the top spot in the Eastern Conference standings for the Commissioner's Cup. When this group is locked in like this, firing on all cylinders, they're not just good, they're legit championship material. If you're fired up about Caitlin's epic return, drop CC Record Breaker in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a moment. Click the video on screen now, and we'll catch you in the next one.